Hey everyone, this is Guy Helmers from Genome Studios with another O3D intensive. Now this is about the Blender pipeline because, well, Blender is open source 3D art software and O3DE is open source 3D video game engine software. So obviously they should hold hand in hand, but there is a lot of stuff to it that just is finicky and touchy. I look forward to seeing the future where this starts becoming clearer, but I wanted to cover it now. So we're in this intensive after doing some other intensives, so we want to have a character appear here instead of a capsule that sucks. And well, it's really good that we already had foresight of this, and we have an actor right here that we could just replace with literally anything better than this capsule with a forward pointer, right? So onto Blender, we have our character. Now, this is an intensive course, so this is not meant to cover basic tutorial things. This is meant to teach people how to use the game engine for making games who already know how to make games. So you should already be familiar with a Blender pipeline necessary to get into video games, and this is how you get Blender assets into O3DE editor in particular. So here we are, we have our character. If you look in the edit mode, we can see, I'm not even sure how to do this very quickly. I needed to object mode, seamless body and armature, and go, no, armature and seamless body, and go weight paint. And we can go into, where are all the, I always have to scrub this. Such an annoying. Here we go. Data. Here we have all of our weights accurately on, toes and fingers and neck and chest and all those things. Good, good, good. So that means we're rigged, and we can of course verify that by going to out of weight paint mode to object mode, go to the armature itself, go to pose mode, and you can just, oops, grab. Whoa. Well, that was the worst one to grab like that. All the rest probably. Oh, wow, they don't. Okay, so rotates. There you go. See? So, let's start by bringing this character into Open3D. So we want to export as FBX. We want to find our local disk, local dev, intensives, assets, Blender pipeline. And we're going to call this Shoot Guardian, because that's cute. So here we go. This is the way that we want to kind of configure our settings. In our scene, I don't have a light or a camera or anything, but in particular for this export, this is for an actor model. We want the armature and the mesh. We can keep the scale at 1. We can apply settings. Forward is Y forward, and that makes it Z up. Excuse me here, I just need to grab my water. I left it far away from me and it was stupid. Here we go. Intensives. All right. Here we go. So we have two Guardian. We got forward, Y forward, Z up. We're applying units. We're using space transform. I don't mess with that stuff too much. Geometry, I was told to do face smoothing. Again, I'm not exactly sure why, but apparently it makes things better. And then we want to not add leaf bones. I have plenty of bones already. And then in this case, we're not baking any animation because we want Toot Guardian actor. Going to export the FBX, and that should hopefully allow us to see it here. So we've got our Guardian actor. So here's a really valuable thing to know. there's an FBX settings tab way up here, hidden over there. And we get to actually look at some of this stuff. So here we've got our Toot Guardian Actor Mesh. Um, we could call it Guardian Full Body or something like that. If you wanted to do something like that, you can save. This processes. For some reason, it says something error, but if you just like literally like click anything else and click into it and then click FBX, it's fine again. So I don't know that. It's got the name, everything's fine. In this case, if you accidentally have like the cube in the scene or whatever, and it appears here, you can always look at these notes. Oh, it's the bones. Oh, never mind. Ha ha ha. Select meshes. That's wrong. So yes, this doesn't work. In actors, you can find the root bone that you made. Sometimes they're nested in a strange way, and you may need to find that. But otherwise, it's fine. There's ways to do other stuff, but I don't really worry too much about it. You can look this all up in documentation. But yeah, what matters is that your character is there. So hey, I can just get rid of my puppet model here, and I can go to my unit entity, and I can just drag this guy in there. Bang! And he's flipped around here. So it turns out that like whatever the imports, like all the axes or whatever are this way. If this is the case, you can edit the original file. I sometimes will make kind of a container actor and put the rig inside so I can just give it a little 180 here because the unit forward is that way, and so then the Guardian is actually facing the right way, and then that container is the actor. Surrogate, essentially, because the actor's actually here on the thing. So when we click play, we're there, we can move and stuff, but our Guardian is obviously not animating or doing anything cool. So, you know, obviously we probably have a character with all sorts of animations. In this case, I'm going to make a mock one just to show you how to do it. Is the recording key on? So here, what we can do is layout animation here. There we go. We've got that keying thing down there. I'm going to zoom back in here, look at here. I'm not very good at Blender. I think there's a way to make these X-ray bones. I have no idea. Yeah. So don't worry about it. We're in the dope sheet, first tab, and action editor. I had my action. Yeah, it's called this one, action. And I'm going to call this breast pose. And I'm going to take this recording, oops, and I'm going to click A, and it selects all of my bones. And I'm going to click I and just click rotation. Right, and then I'm going to actually go to the ones that I want to rotate, and I'm going to click rotate R, and I think this is Y forward, so if I click R and then Y, I can put them in a calm pose, and I don't, okay good, I got that bone, and I can go R for rotate, Y for the Y axis, and I can put his arm down. So that's rest pose, and then we can copy this by making a new action, and we're gonna do I love power pose. So we're gonna take power pose, and we're gonna go rotate Y, and we're gonna go and we're gonna go to the rotate. I think it's X. No, it's Z. One. I don't think it's using local corn Y. No. Okay, well, we're gonna just do a lame. I'm not good at Blender. rotate Y, power pose, wait, rotate X. Yeah. Okay, that's power pose. So we have multiple animations on this character. You know, you go to rest pose, you go to power pose, you have a million animations in this file. How do you then get the animations into the game? So what we're going to do is we're going to go save as, and I'm going to go to the Blender pipeline. This is not to put the Blender file in the pipeline, it's just my folder for this. And we're going to do this anim bundle, you know, priority asset, because usually that's what this is like a library. Going to save that. But what we want to do is then Control S to save again. And we're going to do this anim export dummy. Save that as. And guess what we get to do? We get to go and pull this up, open up the animation, find these NLA tracks, and we get to go and bring up the rest pose. And then, because the rest pose is the primary animation here, we can literally just destroy, oops, we can destroy, is it this? Nope. I see. We have to go into the nonlinear animation. And what is this? I like to, is it this? Yeah. I'm glad I know a little bit of Blender. Go back into the dope sheet, go back into the action editor, take the rest pose, push it down, and then go to the power pose, push that one down. What is this? We need to get rid of some of these. Even I'm figuring this stupid stuff out and it's such a pain. What we want to do is delete these. So we're gonna, if you put this here, oops. Now we're, if we put a shield on it, there we go, put the shield on it. We want to export the rest pose. So we're going to go to the rest pose. I see. Let's stash that power pose. So there we go. We've got our action stash 1 and our action stash here. One is the rest pose, one is the thing. We got rid of the action stashes. Okay, here we go. Finally, sorry. What a loose tangent here. This is what happens when you improv stuff. I guess we only want power pose here for this case. We'll just say with that. And now we can go export, and we're going to do very similar, but we're going to get rid of the mesh here and just keep the armature. We still keep forward, Y forward, we still keep Z up. You do geometry face, you do armature add leaf bones no. And then we're going to bake animation. And we're not going to key all bones. And we're not going to force start end keys. That's stuff that you can control on your own and decide. And I put simplified to 0 because that's what my documentation says I did. And I don't know why, but Blender cannot do what it says here, the NLA strips or the all actions. It won't make them into separate anything. It literally stacks them. It's all we got. So that's why we now have only the power pose in this case. So then we're going to call this one, you know, anim power pose. And we're going to export that FBX. If everything's good, export that. Now, guess what we get to do? We get to open recent and we get to go to anim bundle priority, and we don't save this. And well, I guess we could have just opened the thing then. We can Control Shift Save and we go to Export Dummy, and now we're on the Export Dummy. We're going to do that same stuff that we did before. We can go and grab the nonlinear animation, pull up rest pose, look over here. We've got various NLA things, but we're going to just kill that. And now we've got rest pose. And so then we're going to go in and we're going to go export FBX. We have all of that stuff, but we're going to go armature, Y forward, Z up, geometry, face. I don't think that matters because that's for the meshes. No leaf bones, bake animation, skip those two things and go 0. And then we're going to call this one anim rest pose FBX. And we're going to export that. And I hope we can test this. This is a good way to do it, is to go Control N, General, don't save for the anim dummy. You can delete all these camera and light and stuff. And we can file and we can go Import FBX, leave the settings however they are, I don't know, and go anim power pose. And if we scroll in, we'll see that we've got the power pose and no mesh, and it's the one frame that it was, and that's good. So then we could assume probably that if I go and I import FBX rest pose, we've got a rest pose here. Whew. I was nervous. This is a long intensive, so I didn't want that to bungle up. I was already doing it. So we're actually, I think, through with Blender here. We've got the poses, we've got the thing. So I'm gonna pull up our intensives because it's our engine crashed, I think. In the cover of night, our editor crashed. I like to leave this stuff in because it shows the experience of using the engine. You know, pulling things back up and stuff is actually quite painless, at least for the scale of small scale stuff. And of course, everything is being really fought for quite steadily by the devs, so don't count them out. So I'm going to have to just restore a few of this stuff, but that's okay because we're going to do even more fun. So we're going to go and we're going to create entity, and we're going to call this the actor. And then we're going to go back to our assets, Blender pipeline. We've got our guardian that we exported already. We're going to twirl them around. This is why you have to always save. Save. There we go. Did you see? I saved. Yay. And so now we have our power pose and our rest pose. We can look in these and they have motions. So then you can see the name of the motion. Because we named the file nice, the motion is actually named pretty good. In motions, you can do additive motions, motion range. I'm not sure all of these, but like, yeah, a motion range is good to isolate frames within like a long linear set of like combined animations, I guess, if you wanted to, and you can just keep add motioning, and it's the same animation, you just keep using different ranges. So that's fine, those are just what they are. And so now we're here on the actor. So what we want to do is do an anim graph here, and we can start by doing anim graph. So anim graph always starts with this motion set that's default and empty. It's so stupid. Until that stops being the case, what's really helpful is to go File, Open Actor, and the only actor we have is our guardian. So we've got him there, and you can see skeleton and everything. This is zoom, let's rotate. Okay, just left click. We've got our guardian, and then we can make a motion set, and we can go, I guess I'll just save this one. save selected root motion set as our guardian motion set. Just because we're not doing anything too complicated. Of course, you may want to have a more broader motion set. So we have our guardian motion set here, and inside the motions we can open up power pose, and we can open up rest pose. And just for funsies, I'm going to add my idle. I hope this is the correct one. And then, it might not be the correct one. We'll see. And then we've got our anim graph, and we can, do we have any? I think we'll just, new. Okay, unsaved anim graph, we'll save as, I guess. Go to assets, go to the Blender pipeline, we can go guardian anim graph. Of course, if you have multiple rigs and multiple characters and stuff, you may want to break them off into their own folders. And then now with all of these things set up, you can go save workspace. Assets, Blender. Okay. Save workspace, assets, Blender pipeline, guardian animation workspace. So then, I saved this anim graph. Open guardian anim graph. There we go. Save workspace. Okay. What we could do now is when you're on this guardian and we look up the guardian anim graph here. We can choose the motion set to be the guardian motion set. There we go. When I click guardian anim graph and I open it up, and then we're like, yeah, nice, the guardian loads up, and I go to the motion set, and there's this default above. You see these two? If I try to use the anim graph, so watch, I'll try and put in a motion. So this would be the power pose or the whatever pose. When we click plus to try and select it, we get nothing. And it's like, what the hell? I made all of them. And it's like, no. This default is trumping this default. So you can either go here and you can click delete, and you can delete the things and click yes. And now when I go to the motion, I can do power pose. If I click play, yay, power pose. We did it. And I can also go motion, and I can go rest pose, and then we can make a transition. Oops, there we go. There we go. And then a transition back. We're going to make a parameter, add parameter, and it's going to be rest parameter. And we're going to make it a Boolean, but you can make it a tag, and that's really fun. O3DE uses tagging like Unreal, and they're quite powerful. Rest checkbox, create. So we've got the checkbox right here, and we can click on this selection, and we can go add condition, and we can go parameter condition, and we can select rest. And if rest is, let's see if it's greater than 0, or if add condition, parameter condition, rest equals 0, then it will go back to motion. So if we click play now, we rest, and we, oops, we rest and we thing. So we got our rig with mesh attached into the game as an actual FBX containing only that, no animations. Then we built animations into our index Blender file, and exported them one at a time to great struggle and a little bit of my confusion, which is why this is such a hassle. And then we brought it in and connected it as our character. So then when we go now into the game, and we should save the game many, many times. Oh, where are we at? Guardian motion set. Did I not save? Anim graph motion. We're at that. We've got the motion set. Save. Now it says anim graph successfully saved there. We can also go motion sets and I think save that and save this. There we go. We're in power pose. So I hope that clarifies the way that the Blender pipeline kind of goes as far as I've understood in the month and a half that I've been working and doing this stuff for the purposes of making a game. There's a lot of chatter in the O3DE Discord to try and make a better flow for that. If you want to be involved, if you want to do keep track on what's going on, definitely come here and see what's going on. I'm there kind of every day, at least at the time of recording this. And so, yeah, hopefully this gives you the means to take yourself from having your library of character, content, art, gear, equipment, and things, and hopefully in this you've been able to get yourself into actually doing the character. Now, one last fun thing is if I make a entity inside, excuse me, and I go to no, not materials. Jeez, what am I doing? Models. We got Vorku Guardian. We got clothes. Let's see. Hat B. I'm gonna copy here because I don't want to destroy this. Can I put this here if I just... Here we go. I don't even have to make entity 3. Do you see how... Oh, right, I'm not in Blender. Oh, what a relief. Do you see how our Guardian got this hat actor? In the same way that I did my animation, I exported a weighted mesh with a rig, like my Guardian here, but with only my hat model. And when you go here and you... Oh no, the engine just broke. We're almost there, kids. I hope that these intensive also, you know, give use case studies to the developers who are working on all of this stuff. So it's very valuable to share what's happening with great detail and scrutiny. Excuse me. Back to our Guardian actor. If we go to our assets, go to our Blender pipeline, we grab our hat, we put it on our actor, we can change this attachment type to skin attachment. So what that does is it stops generating or running its own skeleton and stuff, but instead relies on this parent actor, which is our core guy. And then, hopefully, yeah, everything works. I mean, the head doesn't move stuff, so I could just for quicksies, open up the anim graph, and we can set this first motion to recent workspaces. There we go. See, now everything works. We can set this first motion to Rococo idle. Here we go. Beautiful. And we can go save, and we'll see it. Anim graph successfully saved. And as you can see, the helmet follows the character. So pretty easy pipeline, just very, very tedious because it's all manual. But there's tools being made, people who really want this to be better. So it definitely will be. That's the wonderment of open source. So hopefully this gives you a full means of building a Blender pipeline all the way through. There's of course extra assets and tools and add-ons you can get, like the FBX exporter that can really give you much more power over those exports. And I'm sure many of those things have batch and bulk exporting and stuff like that. So definitely, this is just to get a first asset through while you figure out how to get your game's assets through in the ways and forms that you need them to be. So good luck, and I hope this intensive serves you right. Let me know what works, what didn't, etc., etc. And until the next intensive, good luck, have fun making video games. See y'all. Oops.